better recently in run blocking. He's made his opportunities, which Sean McVay said today. He said he took full advantage of the opportunities when he got the ball. When you got those 3 wide receivers, you're not getting a lot of looks right now. So they like where he's at. So I know it's a terrible answer and long-winded, but I would say originally, right out the gate, I said it was a turnover. But as I've looked into it a little bit more, I'm slowly getting closer to a touchdown. Maybe they're on the 1 right now. I still need a little proof it's a touchdown.
All right, the next one. Jared Goff, 4-year, $110 million. Is that a touchdown or a turnover for Goff?
What kind of question is that?
Well, first of all, I think it's a Deion Sanders high stepping from the 20 touchdown from both sides, right? $110 million guaranteed. I don't think you can go wrong with Jared Goff. Yes, maybe if he holds out, and I don't want to say hold it out because I don't think that's his type of character. But if he kind of waits till another year, he throws in the opportunity of an injury, and then you just go through the uglier divorce of going back and forth, and maybe he squeezes out an extra $10 million guaranteed. But Jared Goff doesn't seem like that guy that he saw a deal with his agent that seemed fair, and when you're talking about the biggest guarantee in NFL history, it seems pretty fair. And now this day and age, it's kind of like the next quarterback is just going to get the bigger contract and the bigger contract. So if he waited out, Dak Prescott to get signed and then try to, one-up him, he could have done that. But I think it's a big-time win for him. And then for the organization, they got their guy. They spent a number 1 draft pick. The first year under Jeff Fisher was ugly. We all know that. But he's done nothing but go up these last few years. Him and McVay seem to really get it together. And I don't care if he's a system quarterback or not. You're about winning ball games. So if he's a ball game winning quarterback, I think you got to win on both sides.
And as far as wins go, I mean, you look at a guy like Todd Gurley, arthritic knee. Out of all the guys on this team who've been paid, you got a Robert Woods, you got a Brandon Cooks, Aaron Donald, Goff, Gurley. I look at his backups, Malcolm Brown, Darrell Henderson. Do you feel like with this shift now that all their bases are kind of covered, do you feel like Gurley's importance and significance in the offense is going to be dwindled because now they essentially have drafted a backup and a backup for the backup?
Malcolm Brown was always there, and he was doing exactly what they need. I mean, since the day Todd Gurley's been there, Malcolm Brown's been there. But we saw last year when he got hurt, there was no one really to turn to. And then when Todd Gurley was kind of going through his issues, they really had no one. They had to go out and get C.J. Anderson. So McVay kind of talked about after the draft that they were looking the year before to go get a running back. So I don't know if this was even a replacement thing. If it all worked out, they would have had a top running back last year to kind of play in this offense. And I think that's what it is really, is we saw Cooper Kupp go down, and this offense is really predicated on having lots of weapons. So to add an extra weapon, I don't really look at it as, replacing 100% carries for Todd Gurley or trying to find a way to, ease him out of the offense, even though I do think there's going to be a little step back in what his production is as far as carries and attempts per game. But I still think he's the number 1 bell cow type of guy. I think he's going to get 65 to 70% of the carries, and we're still going to, about halfway through the season, if we have this conversation again, we're going to be like, yeah, arthritic knee. I mean, I don't buy a lot of that. So I still need to see the ball to be played with Todd Gurley, but I like us adding weapons. I'm never going to get mad at that because it takes one injury to a Robert Woods or to even a Malcolm Brown again, and all of a sudden you're back in this where you're behind the 8 ball with the depth at certain positions. So I like it. I think Todd Gurley's still going to have a killer year, even though I passed on him in fantasy, and I had all of my friends like, oh, all you've been talking about is Todd Gurley's healthy, and you passed on him. So I didn't want to jinx him, I guess, was my excuse.
I took Cooks. It's okay. But
there you go.
Because I had him last year. He was pretty consistent. But I think about the defense the other side of that ball, what they did in free agency. They lose LaMarcus Joyner. They get Taylor Rapp in the draft. I'm not a fan of safeties who run 4.7s, but whatever. Right. Rapp was a good, solid player for what he's going to do. You look at Dante Fowler and Clay Matthews. How did those additions really help free up Aaron Donald and, dare I say it, Pete's favorite player, Michael Brockers?
Well, I'll start by defending Taylor Rapp a little bit, and we'll work our way up there because Taylor Rapp, UW product. I'm from the Seattle area as well. I've lived everywhere in this country, boys. But when I lived up there, big, University of Washington fans. My brother graduated from there. Taylor Rapp's one of these guys that I know it's like very cliche. It doesn't test well. He doesn't test well at all. But when you throw on the film and when you see him play this year, he's gonna be flying around. And you're gonna be like, what the heck? Who is this guy that could do a broad jump and all these other random things and 3-cone drills was soft.
4.7, 740,
and just hit you hard. So I'm excited about him. Getting back to the pressure on the edge with Clay Matthews and Dante Fowler. Dante Fowler is gonna be a stud. He got I think we got him midway through the season basically, and he really turned it up. He was coming from Jacksonville, where I think the big problem from him is he has this troubled past. He had really rough times. He was injured at times during Jacksonville. They kind of kept bumping him down on the roster, and it was almost emotionally in his own head. And finally, the Rams said, hey, we want you on this team. And something for a guy like that feels everyone in the league right now, especially on his team, is going, you're kind of unwanted. We're trying to find other players that will fit that. For someone to say, I want you, and then to go and give you $14 million or whatever it was for the one-year deal, I think that really helps that type of guy's ego to say, okay, I'm going to go the extra mile. I'm working next to Aaron Donald, who is just, we all know from having internet, is just a madman when it comes to working out. So I think he's got a great person around him to really kind of get to that next level. He had a full offseason, not just picked up halfway through. So I'm expecting big things for Fowler, and then it puts us back in the driver's seat of, okay, now how much money do you want to give this guy? But Clay Matthews on the other side, the one thing I love about him is he talked about coming from a Packers D a couple years ago with Don Capers, and that style of defense is what Wade has. And he says, I feel comfortable again. The last couple years in Green Bay, I didn't like where they were playing me. There was kind of that also that same effect of where they were trying to work him out. They kept bringing in younger guys and replacing them. And finally, they just told him during the offseason, look, we're going a different direction. So I think he's got that chip on his shoulder, California boy, kind of back into a defense that he likes where we're moving him all around the field and just saying, hey, look, you don't have to be the guy. Like when he was in Green Bay, he was like that Urlacher legend of that defense of that time. And now it's like, hey, you're just another dude. Go get the quarterback. We'll move you around. Do whatever you want. Just put pressure on the quarterback. So I think, and these are all very nice things to say right now, right? But I think that's the way I look at it, and that's kind of my hopes for him is from hearing the way he talks, is he seems a lot more comfortable out here. So those two guys are definitely going to help out. And we're talking about a guy that had Aaron Donald, 20.5 sacks, and the guys next to him, Dominican Sue, we thought he was going to come in and be great. He fell into 4 sacks, and that was it. I thought he'd fall into at least 8 sacks by Aaron Donald chasing people. But if we can get some more help for him, that defense can really get scary quick.
So with all that, let me ask you this. Who scares you the most, either in the NFC West or just overall in the NFC, in terms of, dethroning the Rams, first of all? And second of all, is there any scenario where they don't win the NFC West?
Yeah, it's got to be a disastrous scenario where they don't win the NFC West. I mean, look at the last couple of years. They won it by 3 games. They won it by 2 games. It hasn't really even been like down to the last 2 weeks. What's going to happen? It's really been down to the last weeks. How many starters are going to rest? So, yes, you've seen some improvement from, the Niners, and they really haven't had a go because Jimmy G hasn't gotten through a full season yet. But we still don't know if he can do that. So I'm not sold on them, and it's really a coin toss between the Niners and the Seahawks. The only reason I would give the Seahawks the advantage is because they've done it with less of a roster before, and we've seen them win tight ball games. That's a tough place to play up there in Seattle, so if it comes down to winning a couple home games that are going to make the difference in this, I think Seattle's got the edge, but I still think they come in second, and I still think this division is 2 games away from the Rams, so I think the Rams got it easy. If you're looking at the NFC West, if you take a step back and look at the whole NFC, it's still the Saints, right? I mean, the Saints are still tough. Yeah. I think the Cowboys are definitely striding in the right direction. I still don't think they're more than a wild card team that can maybe win 1 game in the playoffs. Atlanta is probably looking to have a bounce back. Eagles are always tough. Bears are tough. You're talking about those 2 teams are probably – so I'd say, even though looking at the way the Bears performed tonight with their offense, if they're going to get that type of play from the offense, then you're going to knock them out of the NFC West real quick. But that defense was scary. So Eagles, Bears, Saints, followed by Cowboys and Falcons would probably be kind of my playoff picture, looking at how it would come. But I still think it's really Rams getting to the NFC Championship and seeing if they can get home advantage and and sneak out another win, no matter how you want to do it. Whether that's NRC with a frying pan or, whatever it may be, it's got to get done.
All right, man. So lastly, go ahead and plug your social channels. Let people know where they can find your podcast and overall just you.
Yeah, man. You can hit us up on Twitter. It's Locked On Rams. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. You can find the show on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Himalaya, basically anywhere where podcasts are at. And then my personal is LA_Rambling Bear. We're doing 5 days a week of Rams content. So if you're a Rams fan, come in, check us out. We got a lot of really cool guests on. I just talked to team reporter Serena Morales. She's going to be on the show every Friday, kind of bringing a really inside look. We're also going to have JB Long, the voice of the Rams, is going to be coming on after the Sean McVay show every week. So we'll get some insights from the head coach as well. So we got a nice little setup over there. So come check it out. And if you're a football junkie, I got plenty of it for you.
Awesome, Brad. Well, thanks for making some time for us. And, since you are in LA, hopefully we can get you in the studio sometime.
I love it, man. There's nothing better than, cracking a few beers and doing a live recording. So you let me know anytime. And if you guys want to swing on over to Locked On Rams, I'm more than happy to have you.
Sounds great, man. Well, you have a good night and keep up the great work.
All right, brother. Take it easy. Go Rams.
Yes, sir. That's my NFC team.
No. No. Your team is the Raiders. You stay where you're at.
I got the
You're
Eagles,
not a member of the
man.
Ram League.
I think Carson Wentz has a comeback year.
I like the Eagles, too. I like the
Deshaun
Falcons,
Jackson
though.
is going to be nice.
Yeah,
I like the Falcons, though.
Because their offensive line's better?
The Rams.
Yeah, see? Front runner, man.
No, I like the Rams, personally.
But who's your team?
I also like the Falcons. I like the Falcons.
Who do you have in the Super Bowl?
So you like
man?
teams that choke in big games.
I got low key. I got the Rams.
He's a Vikings fan
Rams?
on the low.
I got the
Chiefs,
Rams and the
Eagles.
Falcons in the NFC Championship.
I can see Eagles. Don't sleep on Packers.
And then I got
bro.
Chargers and Pats in the AFC
Oh
Championship.
my god, this dude is.
I said Packers Patriots a while ago.
I know sometimes y'all drink on the show, but crack. I didn't know y'all did that
think the
too.
Seahawks can make some noise though too, which I have an interview we'll get to later. But
Yeah.
I like what they did.
Yeah, I like them adding Jadeveon.
Defensively,
Yeah,
I mean, arguably their D line is as good as it was Legion and Boom did.
Jaron Reed.
it's better.
Some nice guys.
Yeah.
They didn't
it's
have
better.
anybody on that defense who was like Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah, not
And
at
they
all.
have 4 linebackers.
Who
I wouldn't
one of
say
them
it's
runs a-
better because Michael Bennett was. Big
They just
time.
don't have the secondary. That's all.
Yeah,
They
they
don't
don't
have the
have the
same
corners.
secondary or the same receivers.
Shaquem Griffin
honestly.
really runs a 4.38. That's insane.
But even their running backs is good. They
Chris
got
Carson.
three
Yeah.
running backs who can
Carson Penny.
do different things. So.
their tight end, I think they got Will Dissly out of Washington. Or no.
And then-
That was the Bengals. Never
You
mind.
have Russell
My
Wilson,
favorite
you
part of
always have
that
a chance.
interview, though, was his 49ers voice, because that's really how Niners fans talk. Well, we're going to have a Niner fan on pretty soon. So.
Sean Thomas? Is Sean Thomas making an appearance?
Nah, man. Kevin Molina from 49ers Hub, also a CSUN alumni. He's going to be calling in within the next couple
I got
minutes.
Cardinals winning 2 games. Cardinals are going to be
The
terrible.
I don't
Cardinals-
know. We got an interview on that, too.
Cardinals are going to be better than the Dolphins.
I don't know about that, man. They got a lot of stuff to
Will
figure
either
out.
get hurt or benched.
It's going to be like they're going to look
gotta
good in
protect
their
Rosen.
losses. I think they're going to look good in all their losses. You're going to be like, wow, like
Arizona.
Kyler Murray really has maybe a chance, but they just won't win because they just don't have enough talent.
The defense.
If they don't get Patrick Peterson and trade him to the Chiefs so we can really win this Super Bowl,
No.
dog, like what are they doing? They're ruining this
What did the
guy's
Chiefs
career.
do? That's, man, Patrick Peterson could have been out.
Bro, he was going to be a Chief last year, but they decided to hold on to him. Then they do it in
I'd
the
throw it first for
offseason.
Patrick Peterson.
Yeah, if you're the Chiefs, you throw it first. You get Patrick Peterson. You get ready. I hope we play the Rams in the Super Bowl because we owe them for that epic Monday night game. So that would be,
You mean y'all lack of defense?
for me, that would be the greatest Super Bowl because it's LA.
So Marcus Feeders can get a game-winning pick 6 on you guys.
So we can attack him and somebody
jailbreak
can
blitz.
somebody can catch 10 touchdowns on him.
They're sending him on a corner blitz. Hello, caller. What is your name and where you calling from?
My name is Kevin Molina, and I'm from Sonora, California.
Hey, Kevin. How's it going, man?
How's it going, Pete?
Yeah, so Kevin is a CSUN alumni like us. He is the Hubcast co-host and also a writer on 49ers Hub. So
Yes, sir.
Kevin, first of all, let me ask you: is this the years the Niners turn it around and make your argument for why they could win the NFC West?
Well, what's your definition of turning it around?
What one less ACL tear per player?
I don't know. A wild card? Anything?